Pop a perky just to start up. Pop it, pop it, pop 2 cups of purple just to warm up. 2 cups, drink. I heard your bitch, she got that water. Splash, drip, drip, woo, splash. Ay. Slippery, wall, excuse me, please me. Please. I'm up, believe me. Get beat, cause I'm flexing Rarries.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Health and Hustle podcast. This is episode number 12, and today's show we got 2 really good topics for you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about basic dieting and then talking about no one being self-made. So before we get into that, let's check in with Cory, my co-host. Cory, how you doing, man?
Good, dude. I'm doing real good. Things are kind of getting crazy. I think we talked about it a little bit. We talked a little bit about it last week for a minute. Business is picking up. I had some stuff kind of like in the works last week with apparel, and unexpectedly it kind of popped off all of a sudden. I really didn't have any intentions of doing this, but if you guys are unaware, I'm running a pre-sale right now on a first line of apparel. It's going to be t-shirts, hoodies, and we're doing ladies tanks. And if you're not really familiar with, just fucking stop this.
Let's go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Health and Hustle podcast. This is episode number 12. On today's show, we got 2 great topics for you. We got one, health, of course, talking about basic dieting. And then with the hustle, we're going to talk about being no one being self-made. So before we do that, let's check with my co-host, Cory Carpenter. What's going on, man?
God, hey, man, I'm doing good. I'm going good. This place is kind of like a madhouse right now, to be honest with you. Last week I mentioned we had some stuff working with apparel, and I had zero intentions of doing anything with it. I was just kind of like playing with apparel and shit that I was wearing on my own, and shit popped off, and all of a sudden, spur of the moment, I'm running a pre-sale right now on an apparel line. It is FWYH, and I'm selling t-shirts, selling hoodies, and selling ladies tanks. No fucking clue what I'm doing at all. I'm running invoices through my Instagram direct message application. Just kind of winging it, making it happen. The main thing is that people wanted the shirts, so I had to find a way to get them the shirts. So like I said, it's pretty crazy hectic over here. I'm having a fucking blast though, but it just seems like the to-do list is getting longer and longer and longer. Mm-hmm. And I literally I'm halfway through one to-do list and I'm starting another one. So I mean, it's exciting as hell, but yeah, dude, it's kind of a whirlwind right now. How about you? What are you into?
I'm excited to get my t-shirt when they come in, so it should be pretty legit. Like you said, it's popping off pretty quick. But going on right now, there's not a ton. Honestly, just kind of winding down. Like I said last week with the sports season, softball lost last week, so I'm literally going into the high school for like 5 athletes right now for track. We got one kid in the 100 meter who's he's pretty fast, so he's probably gonna make it to states as long as he doesn't mess up royally. And then other than that, man, trying to figure out what the next couple of weeks are gonna hold, because based on whatever goes on with that, I'm kind of in the process of moving stuff back home to Akron as well, and then still waiting to hear back from that job. So I think from what I heard, they're a little bit slow right now in the whole process. So I'm just kind of waiting. Because obviously I need to find some place to live up in Hilliard if I end up getting that job. So I'm kind of in limbo right now. So I'm just trying not to stress out too much,
Yeah. Just kind of keep moving. Basically, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, doesn't really necessarily matter exactly what direction you go next, just as long as you keep your feet moving.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's all fun. It's all grind. It's all a hustle. So man, let's get into the first topic. I know this is something you're pretty passionate about. So you want to kind of give them an idea where we're going with this?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, I mean, I kind of give you a fair warning. Try not to let me ramble too much, because I tend to do that when I start to talk about this kind of shit. But basically what we're doing is we're just, we'll quote this: dieting made simple. I don't ever like to call it diets. I always call nutrition plans, nutrition guides, because I don't think it is a diet, because it's it's just eating healthy. Like I always tell
Mhm.
people, I just eat real shit. Like I don't
Lifestyle, yeah.
diet. Like I eat a fuck ton of food, you know. And if people think I'm dieting all the time because I'm, you know, either A, I'm in good shape, or because I'm eating a vegetable, they assume, hey, you're dieting, but I'm actually eating way more food than they are. And if they tried to eat the meals I ate, they couldn't do it. You know, whether they liked it or not, they wouldn't be able to get it all down because I'm eating way more volume of food than they are. So I'd like to start off obviously by saying it's not a diet. You know, it's just healthy eating, and it's not easy to get to, but once you can learn it and adapt to it, and you actually learn to love it, then you're set. But that's the hardest part, is getting there.
Yeah, man. I know we're gonna get into this a little bit, but there's levels to everything, and I think I don't really have a ton of background in like the actual like application of this stuff. Like I've taken a few nutrition courses. I took a graduate level course last spring, which is pretty cool, and I learned a lot. But there's so much. The one thing I don't like about nutrition, as far as like coursework and stuff, and like the academic setting, is there's so many things that they're like, well, you should be doing this, but then that's not applicable to everybody, so maybe you should be doing this instead. So it's just kind of, you got to figure out what's best on your, like for yourself, and that's basically the biggest thing that I'm going to try to talk about today, because you've got a lot more insight on this than I do. But as I'm getting ready for this prep for the OPBA, the first week of September, since it got pushed back a few weeks, I'm basically still just kind of manipulating my diet a little bit, seeing where I feel the best, seeing what how obviously what makes me look the best, and to keep my strength up. So I'm still manipulating that a little bit, and it's fun. I mean, some days I feel great, other days I feel pretty bad, but I'll get into that here in a little bit once we start getting into the actual food. So.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, because my application, I guess you could say, is geared more towards the average everyday human being that works a job, maybe has some kids, has hobbies, doesn't do fitness for a living. How can they be healthy? How can they lose weight? How can they feel good? How can they prolong their life without it becoming a full-time job? Because if you're in the fitness industry, or you're a trainer, or you're getting ready for a bodybuilding show like yourself, it tends to take up a heavy chunk of your time. And it's almost like, I look at meal preps, eating, grocery shopping, like that's all part of my, I mean, not right now, but the deeper into the industry I get, I look at that as being part of my job. Because I have to eat right to perform. I have to eat right to look good. I have to look good to get clients. Like, it's all full circle. But for the average person that, works at the hospital, has some kids, and is going to soccer after work, like, it can't be their life, and it can't take that long. So we just need to simplify it. And the biggest problem is that most people are at, say, point A, and those health books that you were just referring to, they want you to be at Z. Mm-hmm. Well, you can't fucking get to Z in the length of time. Like, it takes so long to get to Z that people give up. I'm just trying to get them in the middle. If I can get you around letter M or N, like, then we've made progress, and then you'll see the progress and feel it, and then we can gradually work towards Z. Because most people don't need to get to point Z. Like, my brother one time was trying to compare, say his nutrition, his diet with mine, and I'm like, bro, it depends. Like, are you trying to get ready for Muscle Beach, or you just want to drop that pounds and get down to your graduation weight? Because for most people that suffices. If they can get back into them jeans that are sitting in their closet collecting dust, they're happy. So they don't need to go as in depth as I do when I went to California last year. I mean, there's just back to, like you said, the different levels. So I mean, overcomplication has got to be the number one thing that keeps people from succeeding.
Yeah, well, because like you're talking about A to Z, your letter M is different than my letter M. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's different for everybody.
It's different for everybody, and I think it'll be good to hear you talk about how you apply it every day, and then me, because we're on way different levels, and because I still don't even do my full week meal preps like you do. Mm-hmm. I just kind of do it on a daily basis because I've got time in the morning in between the gym and work. So I think hopefully we can kind of, there's obviously going to be a gap between what we're talking about, but I think maybe, because you're pretty extreme with it. I mean, I know it's not hard for you now. It's almost second nature, but hopefully we can get some different insights to different people, because obviously, like we said, everybody's different. So. Yeah,
and I guess that's true too. Like, I mean, like in terms of you think what I do is extreme, I think it's extremely simple. I have been doing it for 4 going on 5 years though, and I guess now looking back, it's funny. I wish I would have taken pictures, but like me and Jess could tell you back in our old apartment, like our preps used to fucking take 6 hours. It was a mess. We had no idea what we were doing, but like again, like, progress over time. But like I don't claim to be super book smart in nutrition. I'm not gonna break down the nutrition label for you. I can hit the basics for you. I can't count your macros. I can't do any of that shit. But like I said, I'm just very practical. I can tell you, like the difference in, if you want to look at a complex carb or a simple carb, or are you looking at carbs that are a little bit heavier or lighter, I can manipulate carbs based off of even, vegetables. But most of my shit is so simple that if I tell people, like when people ask me questions and I tell them the answer, they think I'm kidding. If they ask me why I eat 9 ounces of beef in each one of my containers, I say because I bought 3.2 pounds, and if I divide that by 4, it gives me 9. It's that fucking simple. It's not like I don't weigh anything. I don't measure anything. So it's I just try to make it as simple as possible, because simplicity equals adherence, which equals success. So that's the formula right there.
And the basic thing is, and we'll get into it more, is you found what works for you.
Oh yeah, exactly. And like I said, it took years, but
it wasn't
it
an
doesn't
overnight
have to
thing.
take you years, right? So it took me years. Granted, within the last 2 years, surrounding myself with the guys I have, like the guys at the gym around Cory G, I have like exponentially increased my level of knowledge and experience. But the first few years, I was just doing this shit on my own, because I'm not one to sit around and read articles off the internet from bodybuilding.com from people I don't know. So I'm either going to A, learn it on my own, or B, I'm going to learn it from somebody I know. And I'm not going to just read any random shit off the internet. I'm not saying that's right, but that's how I am. And, it's taken me years, but what I'm saying is now that I'm at the level to where I can help people, it doesn't have to take you years. I told you, I don't know, a while back that we were talking a little bit. My brother dropped like, what was it, like, I had this shit written down. I should have kept it. We're somewhere around like 40 pounds in, I think, like 3 months, which is, he wasn't that big of a guy. He had 40 pounds to lose, but he did it in that amount of time. He didn't even work out.
Yeah.
Like, he did all that just because he learned how to eat right. And if you ask him what his biggest, like, takeaway from the whole process was it's not a diet. I just learned how to eat right. And he didn't have a weight loss goal. He didn't say I want to lose 30 pounds, because he knew if my goal was to lose 30 pounds, when I lose 30 pounds, I'm going to fucking quit and I'm going to go reward myself with ice cream. Yeah. His goal was, I just want to learn how to eat healthy. And he did that, and now he's been able to keep it off all this time. And like I said, he hasn't even started working out yet.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, and you referred to one earlier, I think one of the other biggest things that keeps people from doing, either just starting to live a healthier lifestyle, or maybe kind of progressing to that meal prep, maybe not to the level you do, but even just maybe, on a Sunday do like, food prep for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is just the anxiety or the fear of not knowing what they're doing. And I think, and I'm like this a lot, especially with the food prep, because I'm almost afraid to mess up. You know what I mean? Because like, I'm just sitting there trying to cook a bunch of ground beef, and what do you do with the veggies? Do you just steam them?
Yeah, dude, for a long time I did fresh produce, cleaned it, cut it, steamed it in a damn steamer thing on the stove, like. And then I've for the last 2 years, I've just done bagged veggies in the microwave. Okay, now, I will tell you, obviously, bagged frozen vegetables in the microwave is not going to be as healthy as fresh produce that you've done yourself.
Yeah.
But here we come back to the levels. If you were eating Doritos as a fucking side dish to your lunch every day, you don't need to go straight to fresh produce. Let's stop in the middle with frozen vegetables. That's where I say there's levels to everything, and progress is progress. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think one of the things I want to get into with this is, because we've talked about everybody's different, and I think that kind of comes into a big part of, like, if you see so many like online nutrition coaches and whatnot, but like I know we've talked, and some of your clients have said, can you write me something up? Like, can you write me up a plan, or can you write me up something? Just tell me what to eat, and I'll do it. And then I was at home yesterday, I think, and some of my stuff in the apartment here home, and my mom was like, she lost like 50 pounds or something very substantial. It took her a little while because it means she wasn't eating the best, but just based on purely working out, she lost like 50 pounds, which is awesome. And I think she hit her weight goal, but she never even really changed her diet. I'm like, Mom, if you get your diet in check, I mean, you could drop another 20, 30 pounds with the drop of a hat. And yesterday she was like, I'm struggling with my diet. I think I put a little bit of weight on. Just write me something up, tell me what to eat, and I'll do it. I said, Mom, it's not how it works. It's not because it's just not a sustainable thing over a period of time to do something that you don't. I don't know what she likes. I mean, obviously I'm her son, so I have a decent idea. But you don't know what your clients like. So how do you handle something like that when they ask?
Yeah, and I'm not. And so there's like, let's start with the meal prep thing, meal plan thing. Number one question. But I can guide you in the right path to make the right decisions. So no, I do not do meal plans. I had someone message me, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, on Instagram. Hey, looked at all your meal preps, loved your meal preps. They look amazing. Can you do me a 1 week meal plan? Just 1 week, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'll do it. I know it'll work. I said, okay, here's the thing. What the fuck do you eat on week 2? Are you going to eat the same thing every week? Because I don't. I eat the same thing daily for a week, yes, but then next week it's something different. B, how in the hell am I going to write you a breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 5 days in a row? Like you said, I have no idea what you like. So I said, okay, eat a meat. Okay, well, what meat? Whatever the fuck meat you like. All right, so I'm going to get a little bit.
Getting a little worked up.
I'm going to dial it back, okay? I'll dial it back.
Okay.
So I say, eat a meat. Well, what kind? Well, whatever kind you like. Well, how much? Eat until you're full. Like, we can get there. I'm like, what did you eat yesterday? Well, I ate pizza. Okay, so if you eat a pizza chicken today, like, you're making progress.
Yeah.
Like, if your diet is 97% shit, and you can cut out 7% of the shit, you're making progress.
You're moving in the right direction. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and over time, those calories are going to come down and dwindle, and that's how over time you'll lose the weight. I like the ultimate deciding factor is calories in versus calories out. So if you're not burning more calories than you're consuming, you're going to gain weight. And if you're burning more calories than you're consuming, you're going to lose weight. That's all it boils down to.
Yeah, the only notes I really have on that, because I didn't write much down today, the biggest thing with weight loss, it's as simple as creating some type of caloric deficit. And basically all it is burning more calories than you're putting in your body. So you got to find some way to develop a lifestyle that you are burning more calories than you're putting in your body. And it sounds that simple because it kind of is. I mean, obviously a lot of people like food. I like food, but I've manipulated my diet to the point where, especially now that I'm trying to get leaner, my caloric deficit's gotten bigger compared to what it was, even last month, but especially like this past winter, because I'm trying to get more lean. A lot of the things that I've seen, and this is the only number I'm going to throw out today, is 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of lean muscle, or like lean body mass. So if you decrease your caloric intake by 500 calories each day, you can lose a pound a week.
And that's what you want. I mean, guys, your goal, if you're listening to this right now and you haven't taken anything away and you are looking for something to take away and remember and learn, your goal should be 1 to 3 at the very high end, 1 at the average to lower end, but I would say 1.5 to 2. 1.5 to 2 pounds a week is what you want to aim for loss, for it to stay off. Anything more, it's either it's water, as soon as you eat, it's coming back. But 1.5 to 2 pounds a week is ideal. That equals out to 8 to 10 pounds a month, which is sustainable. I mean, obviously there's different extremes to everything. A big problem too that we could get into is people being really, really, maybe they do know what they're doing and they're eating real good through the week. I just had this conversation with one of the guys from the gym yesterday. kills it through the week, fucking kills it, because he's busy with work and sports and things. So he is prepped. He's ready to go. He's got all his shit down, and he does it just like it's his job Monday through Friday. Saturdays, it's not his job. He takes off. Okay, so he takes the weekends off from his nutrition. We all do it. We've all done it. But it's killing him because it's completely wrecking everything he's done. He's spinning his wheels. He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So can you cheat on the weekends? Yes, absolutely. I encourage it. Cheat, refeed, relax, whatever you want to call it. Get a little bit of something on the weekend to keep you going so you don't feel like you're depriving yourself. So let me use for an example. You dropped 6 pounds Monday through Friday. You fucking killed it. 6 pounds in 5 days. That's very easy to do if you're 100%, 95% dialed into your shit. You can do that. On the weekend, you go a little bit crazy. You put on 4 pounds on the weekend. So you lost 6 pounds in 5 days. You put on 4 pounds in 2 days. You're like, fuck, I just ruined everything. No, because your net loss for the week is 2 pounds. That's where we want to be. And now you come back into the week on Monday feeling refreshed, feeling like, you enjoyed yourself a little bit. You're not depriving yourself of enjoying life because you ate some good, food that you wouldn't normally eat on the weekends. And you're refueled. You're ready to go again.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Cheat meals, guys. It's not like, hey, I'm going to cheat because it's the weekend and I don't have to fucking work today. I can cheat on my diet too. It's like, say you dropped X amount of weight. It's refueling your body a little bit and giving it some stuff that it used to have all the time, and then you took it away for 5 days. So now you're giving it a little taste again, and then you're ready to go for the next week.
Yeah, that's good, man. I think you worked with a lot more clients one-on-one than I have. Because we're kind of in different areas, but the few clients that I've worked with weight loss wise, the number one thing, because I don't write them up meal plans too. I have the same response that you do when they ask me to write them something up. I say, well, I don't know what you like, and at the beginning I tried to go back and forth with them and say, oh, well, what kind of protein do you like? What kind of veggies? And it wasn't very productive. So I give them some tips. The one tip that I always give, and I make it the most important one for them, because of how our society is now, is to reduce the amount of sodium they have in their diet. Yeah. Because that makes you retain water and hold water. If you after the diet's over and you do that, or you start adding the sodium back in, you start retaining water. But you can drop a lot of unwanted water weight, easy in a couple of days.
Yeah, and there's two sides to that too, and I've done both, and I've talked about both. I used to be hardcore low sodium. Now I'm hardcore. For me, I'm at the point where I'm hardcore high sodium because I just want to hold on to as much as I can because I'm doing okay otherwise. Yeah. I ran into a problem last year. My sodium was too low. I was so dry and lean. Yeah, I looked cool walking around. For the majority of the summer, I was pretty much beach ready. But when it came time to where I'm like, yo, I'm going to do a meet in a few months, I only need to drop 6 pounds in 2 months. Easy money. I had no fucking water on me to drop. Everyone's like, just drop some water and you'll make weight. I didn't have anything to drop. Yeah. So now I purposely walk around higher water, carrying higher water, higher sodium. That way when it does come time for me to cut, I've got shit to lose. But like you're saying, most of society today anyway, if you're eating at Five Guys, you're eating this, you're eating that, your sodium is so through the roof, they could stand to drop a little bit. With that being said, let me say one more thing before I give this back to you is sodium isn't the devil that people used to think it is, right?
That's true.
For a long time, sodium got a really bad rap. Low sodium, low sodium, low sodium. I always tell people, unless your doctor has you on a low sodium diet for cardiac reasons, don't worry about sodium.
Yeah.
To an extent, yes. Don't go crazy with it, or you can manipulate it. Like if it's midweek, and you haven't lost anything, and you want to maybe float a pound or two just for self-confidence.
Yeah.
Drop it a little bit, but for the most part, don't stress over it. The only thing I tell my main focus for most of my clients, because of where their starting point is sugar. Let's work on sugar. We work on sugar. Everything else will take care of itself.
That's
so
cool,
like I said, it just depends on where you're at.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was actually going to try to fit this in too. So I had that same issue that you just talked about, within the past few weeks, where in the wintertime when I was getting ready for the first powerlifting meetings and whatnot, and just trying to put on a little bit more mass, my diet was pretty dirty, and I had a lot of sodium. I would have a pizza, Yeah, I would have a pizza a little bit more frequently than I should have. My sodium intake was very, very high, and like I felt bloated, probably like 85% of the time. So I got to the point once, spring broke, that I literally cut all of it out. Like I wasn't using, I took it too far. I wasn't using salted butter. I wasn't salting my foods. I was using the sodium-free seasonings. The protein that I eat is very low in sodium, and obviously the vegetables are. And I got to the point these past few weeks where I was waking up and my hands were swollen, my feet were swollen a few times, like I was getting really bad headaches. And I ended up, I talked to the doctor a little bit, but basically I was at a can't talk, so like an idiot, hyponatremic state, which is basically low amounts of sodium in the blood, and that put me in a hypovolemic state, which basically meant my blood circulation, blood wasn't circulating well enough around my body, so my blood pressure was terrible, and I felt terrible. So that's just one thing I kind of want to point out to people is my goal to do was to be healthy, but I took it to such an extreme that I ended up being unhealthy. And it really affected how I felt for a good couple weeks.
And you could go for a while and never know what it is causing it, or you could go for a while and not realize you feel like shit. This is something I'm learning more and more of every day. The majority of society, because they don't ever get to feel good, the majority of society doesn't even realize they're walking around feeling like fucking shit. Because they're so used to eating like shit, feeling like shit, they like feeling awful is the new norm. So they forget, they don't even know what it's like to feel good. I remember Cory G uses this example all the time. Most people take better care of their vehicles than they take care of their bodies. And I never thought of that before because I come from a family that we wash our vehicle every single week. Wax it 2-3 times a year. Impeccable condition, all of our vehicles my entire life. And I got to thinking, I'm like, holy shit. That's true. And if you think about it, it's a fucking car, and your body is your life. You only
get one of them
on the earth, and we take such good care of vehicles, and then we just throw random shit. Like, would you throw random shit in your gas tank of your car? So why are you shoveling this poison shit in your mouth?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I've never heard him use that analogy. That's pretty cool.
I've heard it a few times. It's been a while. I don't know. Shit. It probably might have to dig deep into the archives, but I've probably heard everything that dude said before.
That's cool, man.
But let's get into a little bit of practicality here for some pointers that I would give to get you some progress right away. And again, these are pointers that I have used and not used and learned from, and I like or I don't like. Take them with them what you will, and don't try to speak science books at me. Biggest questions I get from my meal preps: do you get tired of eating the same thing every day? The answer is no. I don't eat the same thing every week. It's very, very similar every week. I do basically eat, if I'm doing a protein, I'll basically do that protein 5 days in a row. I will sometimes I'll use the same seasoning all 5 days in a row. Sometimes I'll use different seasoning every freaking day. And you may not be able to tell it the picture, but I've got 5 different seasonings on it enough. I've played with seasonings enough. Don't tell me seasoning's too expensive whenever you're out there spending money on fucking horse shit I see you spending it on every other weekend anyway. You can afford the damn seasoning. That's 1. 2, if I eat the same thing every day, I can tell how my body reacts to it. It's good to keep journals for everything. I don't keep journals for hardly anything. I don't have workout journals. I wish I did. I don't have meal journals. I wish I did. It's just there's only so many minutes in a day, and I've got other shit that I'm spending them on, and I'm stretched for time. I don't have time to write shit down. If I eat the same thing every day for a week, I can tell throughout that week how my body feels by it. If I eat something completely different every single day, how am I supposed to know what it is that's doing it to my body? I ate pork one time last year for an entire week and found out my body didn't like it. Do I like pork chops? Yes. Do I eat ribs? Yes. I love that shit. Do I eat it very often? Do you see it in my meal preps? No. You see a lot of ground turkey. You see a lot of chicken. You see a lot of ground beef. What else do you see? Those are the main proteins. Hamburgers, different forms of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you just don't see a lot of pork because I ate it for a whole week. I felt like shit. My weight wasn't right, and so I stopped eating it. Another thing I do, and this can go either way. Do you weigh yourself every day or do you not weigh yourself every day? I weigh myself every single day. That's, again, my way because I don't keep a journal of weight. I can tell what I know. I can remember in my mind what I ate yesterday and what I ate the day before because those are the two things that are mainly affecting my weight when I wake up in the morning. So I can remember far enough back if I weigh myself daily to know what's working, what's not, depending on my weight. Do I want to come down or do I want to stay up? So when I was working with my mom, what is today?
Do you always weigh yourself consistent same time of the day?
Every single morning, I wake up, I go to the bathroom, pee, empty the bladder, step on the scale. Every single day for the last 3 years like clockwork. If I have a client that weighs herself in the evenings all the time with her shoes on after she's done ate lunch, dinner, and ran around and drank water all day, pissed off every single day. I mean, granted, as long as she's consistent, it's the same, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be a more accurate weight than I think when you wake up.
In the morning. Yeah, I agree.
Because what you put in your body every day changes. So yeah, even though you weigh yourself at 5 p.m. every day, you don't put the same shit in your body throughout that day leading up to it. So it's never going to be exactly the same. It can get narcissistic though. It can cause like addiction type shit though. So like I was getting ready to say, I had my mom weigh herself every single day for I think the first 2 to 3 weeks we were working on her nutrition, and it worked out really well because she was seeing the slow, steady progress. She saw it was working. It built self-confidence. It built like momentum for her to keep going. She was seeing her weight coming down. She was getting excited. She was sticking with it.
Yeah.
2 to 3 weeks in, when that initial drop started to level out, she was weighing herself every day. The scale stopped moving. She wasn't losing as much weight or this or that. She started to get discouraged. Mom, stop weighing yourself every day. Let's do it once a week.
Yeah.
It can change.
Do you think that you got to kind of try to find a balance between the scale and then how you feel?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the scale is just a number, and everybody knows that. Muscle mass, fat mass, water mass, that everything's different, so a number can only tell you so much, but I know what my number needs to be. My number, my 159 and your 159 are two completely different things. My 159 and a chick's 159, two completely different things. So a number is only a number, and it's all about, feel first and look second, but the number means something to me because I know what numbers what weight I perform at best, what weight I look the best, and where the weight is where I'm in the middle. I look good and still perform good. Yeah. Because the weights I looked the best at last year, I couldn't perform for shit. And then some of the weights where I've performed really well, I looked like shit. So right now, I literally am right in the wheelhouse right now, and that's why I've been letting such a fire under my ass in the gym. I'm at this weight right now to where I look decent, and I'm still performing well. Yeah. So that's why the number is important to me, but the number isn't important to society at all.
Yeah, that's cool. I think, why aren't you doing the OPBA?
I'm in my best friend's wedding the week before. Like, I've said this. I know it's an excuse. It's an excuse because here's the thing. There's always going to be shit. There's always going to be shit, so I can't use that. But just this year, my wedding, I'm in 2 of my best friend's weddings this summer, and just now building this business to where I'm working on not working full-time at the hospital
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Well, I guess the reason I'm defending myself so hard is because I've had this conversation with myself. Like, Cory, you're being a fucking bitch. Quit making excuses. Yeah. But I'm keep trying to talk myself out of it. But we'll see what happens.
Cool. Yeah. I'm kind of doing the same thing right now. And like, you're such at an elite level. Like, you know that number on the scale. You know what it means for you. And I'm trying to find that right now because I'm hitting weights. I'm hitting all-time PRs right now at 168 that I couldn't even touch at 175. So you know what I mean? And it all kind of correlates over back to the weight room. If you want to be kind of a strength guy as well as look good, because you get your leverages all change too. And I'm not really in tune with my leverages. I think once I keep cutting and get to where I want to be, I think I might be able to get there, but. It's kind of weird how that works out. So I'm kind of starting to get in tune with that number on the scale as well. Yeah.
And as your weight goes up and down throughout the seasons, whether you're prepping for bodybuilding, physique, or powerlifting, I was up in the 170s this winter, and I squatted my best number of my life. I squatted 465. I weighed 174, I think, when I did it. I was sturdier. I felt more sturdy. I had a lot more calories in me. I was stronger, yes, but I was only moving in the sagittal plane. All I could do was squat and pick up a bar. I could squat and deadlift, and that's it. I couldn't move. Right now, I'm hitting pretty good numbers for my weight. I'm down this morning. I was 159. That's 19 pounds down since January. Not doing anything crazy. Literally just cut out the shit. 19 pounds down. But now I'm unracking the weight. I'm walking it back. We're doing lunge complexes. We're doing things where I can actually move, and I'm pushing some decent weight, but I can still feel like a functional human, like that can breathe. I can see my abs again. Like it's summertime. So, I mean, I'm pumped. But yeah, I mean, just because you weigh more doesn't mean you're necessarily going to lift more either.
Yeah, exactly.
Strong. What's the big thing everyone's saying right now? Big as in strong, strong as strong.
Yeah.
So.
Cool, man.
So I don't know. I mean, that's pretty cool. I think you wanna get going on and talk about anything else before we run out of time, or what? I mean, I feel like I could talk about this shit forever, but like I said, you gotta just shut me up.
No, that was good stuff, man. You seemed a little fired up. I think you used the F word a lot more times than you usually do.
See, that's funny because when I'm talking about stuff to Jess or my mom or my dad or someone, I could just go through a whole conversation like blah, 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 and then we start talking about something I'm passionate about, and I fucking turn on, and they're like, oh, okay, and then so they get excited when I do it, but I do need to try to turn it back a notch.
No, it's good, dude.
Here's the reason I get so pissed off when people ask me about meal preps.
Okay.
And they want me to do a meal prep for them because they don't know where to start. They're looking at my pictures. I've got probably 20 different meal preps on my Instagram, laid out literally step by step, like from left to right, this is what you eat in a day. And they message me and say, I don't know where to start. Even if I didn't respond, just fucking cook up what's in the picture and eat it. I mean, like I'm cooking up a meal prep and posting a picture, and then I'm eating something else.
Yeah.
I'm eating this. So if you don't know where to start and you want to look like me, eat that shit that I just took a picture of. That just goes back to the whole laziness and, excuses for not really wanting a thing. Because it's right there in front of you. I mean, yes, I do want to help you, but don't tell me you don't know where to start whenever there's a picture of what to eat right in front of you. And I even map it out. I even put my meals, like, in the caption. Ground beef and cauliflower sweet potato mix, which I just found this week, and it's fucking bomb, by the way. Like, each meal is mapped out with what I'm eating together, so you can just look at the picture and be like, okay, I'm going to eat this today, because, I mean, you can do it. Stop making excuses.
What's the sweet potato mix?
Dude, so its stuff was prepackaged, just like vegetables, like in a steamer bag. It's like cauliflower and sweet potatoes. It's like diced up, so it looks like, you remember like the little diced up pepperonis you'd get on pizza when you were in like grade school?
Yeah.
Like the tiny little like squares or rectangles or whatever the hell you call them, cubes.
Yeah.
Tiny little things. So they cube up cauliflower and sweet.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So we're having a little bit more technical difficulties like we did last week, so we're going to wrap up this health topic, and Cory's going to give us some good takeaway points that you can apply into your own meal prep or just whatever kind of food you're eating, and then we'll get you out of here. So, Cory, take it away.
All right, so you guys want to start your very first meal prep this weekend. You've been thinking about it. You want to do it. You just don't know where to begin. Sit down at your house before you go to the grocery store. Think into the future how many days you need to prep for, whether it's just Monday through Friday, it's 5 days. Okay, let's pretend. It's Sunday morning, I'm at the dinner table, I got to prep for Monday through Friday. I'm going to sit down. Am I going to eat lunch and dinner? That's what I'm going to prep. Okay, I need to prep 5 lunches and 5 dinners. Okay, how much do I want to eat for lunch and how much do I want to eat for dinner? Okay, I like to eat ground beef or ground meat for lunch because I am pressed for time during lunch, so I eat ground meat, whether it be beef, turkey, chicken, because I literally can shovel it into my mouth faster. I don't have to cut it. That's how much I've simplified this for time. Okay, I'm going to do that. So I go to the grocery store and I need meat for 4 to 5 days. All right, I usually prep for 5 days, but some days it's 4 just because of the way the amount of food works out. Giant Eagle sells their ground beef in 3-pound packs. I buy a 3-pound pack of ground beef, 16 ounces in a pound, multiplied by 3, 48 ounces of beef I got in my hand right now. Do I want to make this last for 4 days or 5? If I want to make it last for 4 days, that gives me about 12 ounces of beef per meal, and that's my wheelhouse. I love that. That's what I do on the reg. If I'm trying to do a few less calories, I'll split that up for 5 meals. It gives me around 9 ounces. This is pre-cooked, around 9 ounces of meat. I can make that last for 5 days. That's doable. If I do that, I'll up my veggies. Okay, so we got to pick a vegetable. What are we going to do? Well, it depends. How much calories do you want to eat? Mixed veggies, a full bag of frozen mixed veggies, 50 to 60 carbs in them. I look at carbs on the vegetables. A full bag of broccoli, 16 carbs. So if I'm trying to keep my carbs low and you're on a low-carb diet, you can eat broccoli, celery, green beans till you're blue in the face and you're not getting nearly as many calories. If you're looking for higher calories and higher carbs, peas, carrots, corn, stuff like that. So that's how you can manipulate your carb intake. Fats, obviously everybody knows you want to eat healthy fats. I eat an avocado with every meal because I love them. I didn't always love them. I used to hate them. So if you do hate them, give them a chance. You'll learn to like them. Nuts, awesome. There are levels to eating nuts just like everything else. I prefer cashews and almonds. That's high to mid-range price, high to mid-range quality. Pistachios are up there. Walnuts are up there. I just don't like them. Peanuts are at the bottom of the totem pole. I like peanuts. I like the way I feel off of the cashews and almonds better. Again, if you're someone that's been eating Doritos and you just want to go to peanuts, progress is progress. Mm-hmm. Do it. Eat the peanuts. I prefer unsalted nuts because, like I said, we talked about I don't do a ton of extra sodium. I just like the way the unsalted nuts are. It's more natural to me. I like that. If you can't eat nuts without salting them, salt the damn things. I would rather you eat salted nuts than no nuts. Because if you're not eating nuts, what are you eating? We're back to Doritos. You're back to Doritos. So eat the damn salted nuts. I've had this conversation multiple times. I love it. So you've got meat, you've got your vegetable, and you've got your fat. That's what I eat. I eat a little bit of fruit. When do I eat my fruit? How do I eat my fruit? Eat it whenever the hell you want. I've ate it at night. I've ate it in the morning. I've ate it in the middle of the day. That's your preference.
That just depends on how you feel?
Yeah. I typically only do it at night. I like to eat it before bed, like we've talked about and we know. Spike my insulin, go to sleep, wake up refreshed. I consider fruit before I go to bed my pre-workout meal because we work out in the middle of the damn night. I don't care what. It's tomorrow, it's 4 a.m., but that's the middle of the night. If I'm not going to bed till 10 or 11 and I eat fruit at 10 p.m. and I wake up and I'm at the gym at 4, that's 6 hours later, that fruit's my pre-workout meal.
Yeah.
I also eat fruit. The other time I do eat it is about mid-afternoon. So I eat lunch at noon or 1. I eat dinner maybe 5, 6, depending on when I get home from work, whatever. In that lag time, am I hungry? If I'm just hungry, I'll go for nuts or something as a snack if I want it. But if I'm low on energy, I feel like I'm crashing, I'm going to fall asleep, I need a little bit of pick-me-up, I'll eat the fruit, get some sugar in my system. Here's the thing. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. People eat too much fruit. Like, you could be fat by eating oranges. If all you eat is oranges and you eat too many of them, you could still get fat. So people eat too much fruit. I say try to stay under, for general people dieting, 1 to 1.5 cups a day. If I eat a fruit at work at 3 p.m. for a snack, I'm eating about a half a cup. Yeah. And I know it's a half a cup because I measured one time my little mini Tupperware containers I got at Walmart. I measured them. It equaled out to about a half a cup. So I don't have to measure it ever again. I know this container equals a half a cup. I have one that's a little bit bigger. I measured it out one time. I know this bigger container is about a cup. So do I want a half or a full? I have containers. I just throw them in there. All that shit is already, I measured it one time and I know how much it holds. So I don't have to measure it every week. You just got to measure it once. The only other thing that we haven't talked about and we should have talked about 45 minutes ago is water. No one in the world drinks enough water. I mean, we drink enough water for most of the world, yes. Yeah. But most of the people do not drink enough water. I make a goal. I drink a gallon before lunch. I generally drink a gallon before 10 a.m. But, again, I'm up at 2:30 or 3. The average person ain't up that early. A gallon and a half of water a day should be your goal. And I say should. That's what I've done, and that's what works, and that's what I have a couple of people doing, and that's their wheelhouse too.
Yeah.
The water thing, one last point I'm going to make, and then I'm going to get you out of here. I'm going to shut up because this is a perfect example. My mom had a love affair with Diet Mountain Dew and Doritos, the red ones, whatever they're called. I love them. Everybody loves them. That was her weakness. Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew, and Doritos. I said, Mom. She's like, I need to cut out pop. Well, stop right there. Don't say cut out pop. When you say I'm going to stop drinking pop, I'm going to cut out pop, you are triggering negative receptors in your mind that when someone says you can't have something, you want it. So we're not saying that. We're not going to do that. Don't cut out your pop. Let's up your water and see what happens. She's like, what do you mean? I said, okay, I want you to drink a gallon of water before lunch. I want you to text me every single day when that gallon of water is gone. That way you have to do it because I'm waiting on that text. Text me. Okay. Not even 2 days later, she with that whole week, she's like, okay. I'm like, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna like slowly cut back your pop, like one a day and then one every other day and then whatever. At the end of the week, she had completely stopped drinking pop, had completely stopped eating Doritos. I said, how did you do that? She goes, well, I had to drink so much water because you wanted me to text you and tell you I drank the water that I was too full and I wasn't thirsty. I didn't drink the Diet Mountain Dew. I said, okay, so how'd you cut out the Doritos? She goes, I only ate the Doritos because they tasted really good with Mountain Dew. I'm like, oh. So in like a matter of a week, she completely eliminated Diet Mountain Dew and Doritos out of her diet just by strictly not saying, I'm going to stop eating them. She said, I'm going to drink more water. So it's a positive spin on something that most people take negatively.
That's like Psychology 101, dude. That's pretty cool.
Boom.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah, that's like my favorite. I think it's the easiest way to understand it. Like rewire your brain, like I talk about all the time, is rewire your brain, rewire your brain. Think about things a little bit differently. If you get on my website and read my little like about me, I tell you like I'm going to challenge you to take a step back and look at our goals and look at our plan from a different point of view. Everyone always says you have to stop drinking pop. You need to cut out junk food. Maybe you don't need to cut out this and stop doing that. Maybe you just need to do more of the shit that's good for you. The rest of it will take care of itself.
That's awesome, man. Those are great points. So we're going to cut it because, again, we're having a little bit of difficulty with, I don't know what it is, but it's been kind of frustrating. But we're going to get you out of here on that note. Make sure you guys let us know what you're thinking on iTunes, SoundCloud, and then we're going to get these back up to YouTube here this week as well. Let us know what you think. Give us a rating, and keep hustling, guys.
Hey Todd, it was fun, man. Have a good night. I will catch you at the gym in the morning. Everyone else, we'll speak at you next week. Have a good one. Keep hustling. Thanks.
All right. Peace.
Peace.